All right, so for the second part of our notes today, we are going to practice substitution and evaluating expressions. We talked about how substitution is replacing a variable with the number it is equal to. Our first example of this, we are going to evaluate the expression when b equals 90. One thing we need to talk about is what this means. So when we write 3b, what this actually is telling us is we have 3 times b. And in the description of the problem, they told us that b is equal to 90. So we are going to take that 90 and plug it in for b. So now, instead of 3 times b, we're going to have 3 times 90. Good. Then you evaluate or solve the problem. This one, when you take 3 times 90, we're going to start with 3 times 9. Once you know what that is, which is 27, you are going to place that 0 from the end of 90 at the end of your number, making our answer 270. Good. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next problem. You want to make sure you have all of this written down so you can use this as a reference when you go to do your independent practice. All right, our next one, evaluate the expression when x equals 9 and y equals 5. For some problems, you're going to have more than one variable, so you have to make sure you're keeping track of the variable and the number it is equal to. In this one, x is 9, so we're going to replace that x with a 9. Then y is 5. The y will then be replaced with that value. Once you substitute in for both variables, then you evaluate or solve. In this one, 9 plus 5 will give us the answer of 14. First, replace the variable with the value it's equal to, or substitute, then solve the problem. Our next one, we are going to evaluate the expression when x equals 9 and y equals 5. Now we've done a problem like this, so you should pause the video, try it first, and then hit play to check your answers. Okay. So to start off with, when the variables are next to each other, that means we are multiplying x times y. And in the problem, x is 9, so we'll replace that there. And the y is equal to 5. And we'll replace that over on this side. So xy will be replaced with 9 times 5. Now that we have all of the numbers, we solve or evaluate, and this will give us our answer of 45. Perfect. Our next example, let's go back to this one. If you did not have the correct answer, make sure you replace it with the correct answer, just so your notes are accurate when you reference it when you're doing your independent practice. Okay, now our new example. Evaluate the expression when x equals 8 and y equals 2. Now, in this problem, they told us the value of 2 different variables. That does not mean we are going to use both of those numbers, because if we look at our expression, there's only an x here. So because we only have an x, we only need the information about x. So we're going to use that information and substitute it into our problem. Now, instead of having x plus 12, we are going to have 8 plus 12. Now we evaluate and get our answer of 20. Most of this is previous knowledge. The newest part of this is the substitution, where we are given an expression with variables and numbers, and after we substitute, we have only numbers and are able to solve. All right, go ahead, try this one on your own, and then we will go over the answer. So hit pause, try the problem, and then play the video again. Okay. So for this problem, we have both of the variables. We have x equals 8 and we have y equals 2. both of them will have to be replaced in here. It is important that you get the order correct because when we subtract, if you flip the order, your answer will be wrong. This one ends up being 8 minus 2. Now we have all of our numbers. We're able to evaluate the problem. 8 minus 2 equals 6. All right, our next one. Evaluate the expression when x equals 8 and y equals 2. Again, the order is going to matter because if we look, we have a fraction bar. And if you don't remember, the fraction bar means dividing. So what this problem is really saying is we have x divided by y. Then we can substitute. Our x value is 8. Our y value is 2. Once we plug those numbers in, we have the problem 8 divided by 2. Then we solve because we have all of our numbers. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Good. All right, so now you are going to grab the independent practice day 2 worksheet. So if you have questions, make sure you are asking those, attempt all the problems, turn in your worksheet, and I will grade it and give it back to you to see if you need any feedback or any corrections before you move on to the next task.